King David speaking to his son Solomon before Solomon was king. King David is giving Solomon wise advice, giving him a speech, telling him everything that he needs to know. But King David tells King Solomon, above all else, guard your heart, for out of it flows the springs of life. Jesus said, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And when King Solomon was filled with the abundance, the magnitude of wisdom, the wisdom that came from God, King Solomon said, there is power of life and death in the tongue, and those who love to talk will eat the fruit of it, whether for life or death. Now, what does this all mean? Welcome back. You're here with the Mac, and you already know. For the rest of the week, you have cryptos and we talk financials. But on Sunday, it's the Sunday special. Follow me on Twitter at 007MacMac007. Again, that's 007MacMac007. Ask for my secret Telegram channel, and I'll hook you up. So let's quickly tie this all together. What King David taught Solomon, what Jesus said, and what Solomon later said. Let's tie this all together. King David tells Solomon before he was king, and he gives him all this wise advice, yet he tells him, above all else, above everything I have ever taught you, I have ever told you, above all of that, guard your heart. Now, when we say heart, we're talking about spirit. All right, guard your spirit. And how do you guard your spirit? You need to know this. You guard your spirit by what you listen to and by what you look at, right? You got to guard the eyes. You got to guard your ears, the portals to your spirit. So King David tells him, guard what you see, guard what you listen to, guard your spirit. For out of it flows the springs of life. What does that mean, King David? What is David saying there? For out of it flows the springs of life. Basically, you create your life by what you speak, by what you declare, by what you think. Now, this is not the law of attraction. This is called faith. Either you are in faith or you are in fear. And of course, the law of attraction, people give it different names, which we call the law of attraction. I call it faith that the Bible teaches. This is from the Bible. All right? Jesus said, out of the abundance of the heart, the spirit, the mouth speaks. All right, so let's tie those two together. All right, and we're talking years apart. We're talking Old Testament, New Testament, years apart, but let's tie them together. King David tells Solomon, above all else, guard your heart, guard your spirit, for out of it flows the springs of life. Jesus says, out of the abundance of the heart, the spirit, the mouth speaks. Interesting. Very powerful. And then we have King Solomon, when he was king. He says, one of the wisest men to ever live. Whether you want to take this as philosophy or, not take it spiritually, I take it as spiritual. I take it as the Word of God. I take it as the Bible. But you can take this as education. You can utilize it for those of you who, you want to call God, the universe, and whatever. You believe in the law of attraction. I call it faith. Faith. That's what I call it. But you want to tie it all together. King Solomon says, there is power of life and death in the tongue, and those who love to talk shall eat the fruit of it, whether for life or death. And when we say life, we're talking about blessings. And when we're talking about death, we're talking about curses. King David says, you have the power. Guard your heart. Jesus says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. King Solomon says, there's power of life and death in the tongue, and those who love to talk shall eat the fruit of it. So what's the result here? What is it? You got to be careful what you listen to. You got to be careful what you look at. Because whatever you look at, whatever you listen to, it's going to go into your spirit. And King David said, be careful, guard it, for out of it flows the springs of life. And whatever's in abundance in your spirit, in your heart, Jesus said it's going to come out of your mouth. You can't help it. You can't help it. If you have fear, sickness, poverty mindset, poverty, doubt, worry, deep down in your heart, it's going to come out of your mouth. And out of your mouth, that's seed. And just like King Solomon says, there is power. There is power. There is power of life and death in the tongue. And those who love to talk shall eat the fruit of it. The fruit, the seed, comes from your spirit. So, what seeds are coming into your spirit? What seeds are going deep down into your heart? Are they seeds of fear, worry, sickness, sadness, depression? And are you speaking fear, sickness, poverty, lack, depression? Or are you speaking happiness, wealth, prosperity, joy? Good things, advantageous things, abundance. Are you speaking that? It all determines, it all comes from what you look at, from what you listen to. You got to guard your heart. Hey, take it or leave it. You can say I'm a crazy guy. You can say I'm full of foolishness. Or you can say, wow, this is one of the wisest things I've ever heard. Yet it might be so simple, might be so damn simple, so kindergarten. But I just challenge you to apply this and try your best, do your best to change how you think, how you talk, and be careful and guard your heart. Take the advice that King Solomon, one of the wisest men to ever walk on this earth, and do your research, do your study on King Solomon. And yes, many things happened to him later on in life. But do your research on him. And he learned a lot from his father, King David. Do your research on King David. Do your study on King David. And do your study on Jesus. Tie these three things together, and you have a powerful recipe for success or failure. The warning's there. I'm just sharing the wisdom with you. Take it or leave it. Find it foolish. Find it as wise advice. I'm here just trying to encourage and speak life into your life. Well, this was the Sunday special. I'll be doing this every Sunday. Rest of the week, you got me with cryptos and finances or whatever's going on in the world. But on Sunday, you already know what time it is. All right, guys. Again, like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell, and follow me on Twitter at 007MacMac007. I'm out. Be blessed.